I didn't lose my son to death. I lost him to silence. There was no warning, no argument, no slammed door or final goodbye. Just one ordinary question, asked with a mother's careful voice, and an answer that quietly erased me from a moment I had waited for my entire life. If I had known that a single sentence could redraw the borders of family, I might have braced myself, but no one ever prepares you for the day you realize you are no longer considered part of your own child's life. Not as a villain, not as a problem, but as an afterthought. Welcome to my YouTube channel Whisper Stories, where silence speaks. My name is Lucy, and I am 59 years old. At 59, people think surprises should be gentle, birthdays planned in advance, predictable routines, quiet mornings with tea that never changes flavor. They are wrong. Some surprises arrive like a slap, not a whisper. Mine came on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon, through a phone call I never expected to break me. The moment everything shifted, I remember exactly where I was standing. In my kitchen, barefoot, the kettle screaming like it had something urgent to say. I had my phone wedged between my shoulder and ear, smiling the way mothers do when they're trying to sound cheerful instead of intrusive. So, I said lightly, stirring sugar into my cup, "Have you two decided on a wedding date yet?" There was a pause. Not a technical pause. Not a bad connection pause. A decision pause. Then my daughter-in-law's voice came through the speaker, pleasant, calm, almost rehearsed. "Oh, we got married yesterday." The spoon slipped from my fingers. It hit the floor with a sharp metallic sound that echoed longer than it should have. "You what?" I whispered. "Yesterday," she repeated, "just a small courthouse thing." My knees gave out, and I had to grab the counter to steady myself. My son, my only child, had gotten married. Yesterday. And no one thought to tell his mother. Raising him alone. I didn't raise my son expecting gratitude. But I didn't raise him expecting invisibility either. His father left when my boy was 3. Just packed a bag and vanished like a man stepping out of a photo frame. So it was me. Always me. I worked 2 jobs. I learned how to fix leaky pipes by watching videos late at night. I sat in plastic school chairs during parent-teacher meetings, pretending I wasn't exhausted. I was there for every fever, every broken heart, every soccer game where he never looked into the stands, but I watched anyway. I taught him how to shave. I taught him how to apologize when he was wrong. I taught him that family shows up. Or so I thought. The call that followed. After I hung up, I sat on the kitchen floor and cried. Not loud sobs. Those quiet ones that come from a place too deep for sound. An hour later, my phone buzzed again. My son. "Mom," he said carefully, like someone approaching a wild animal, "I hope you're not upset." Upset. As if the word could hold what I felt. "You got married," I said, "and I found out like a stranger." He sighed. "We didn't want drama." Drama. I laughed then, short and sharp. Was I drama when I stayed up all night with you during your asthma attacks? Was I drama when I sold my jewelry to pay your college application fees? Was I drama when I sat alone on Christmas so you could spend it with her family? Silence. That silence told me everything. Meeting her and slowly disappearing. I wanted to like my daughter-in-law, truly. At first I tried. I invited her over for dinner. I complimented her cooking. I listened when she talked. But somewhere along the way, I began to vanish. Family dinners stopped including me. Plans were made without checking my schedule. My opinions became old-fashioned. Once I overheard her say, "He needs space from his mom." Space. From the woman who built her life around him. I told myself not to be jealous. Not to compete. But being replaced is not the same as stepping aside. The wedding I wasn't invited to. They said it was just paperwork. But paperwork doesn't include photos. A week later, I saw them on social media. Smiling, holding flowers, her parents beside them. Someone commented, "Beautiful family." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Beautiful family. Apparently, I wasn't part of it. The loneliest realization. That night, I looked around my house. The quiet wasn't peaceful. It was hollow. The walls still carried echoes of my son's laughter, his teenage music blasting too loud, his footsteps running down the stairs. I realized something terrifying. I had given everything to be a mother, and forgotten to be anything else. When motherhood was taken from the center of my life, there was nothing left holding me upright. A turning point. 2 weeks later, I did something radical. I stopped calling. Not to punish him, but to protect myself. I joined a book club. I started morning walks. I signed up for a painting class, even though my hands shook the first day. Slowly, painfully, I began reclaiming pieces of myself I'd buried under responsibility. And something strange happened. I felt lighter. When he finally noticed. 3 months later, my son showed up at my door. Unannounced. He looked different. Older. "I didn't realize how much I hurt you," he said quietly. I didn't rush to forgive him. I didn't yell either. I simply said, "You didn't just miss inviting me to a wedding, you missed honoring a relationship." Tears filled his eyes. For the first time in a long time, he wasn't being protected from consequences. The conversation that changed everything. "I thought you'd always be there," he admitted. "And that," I said softly, "is why you stopped seeing me." Love should not require invisibility. Respect should not require silence. Family should not be optional when it's convenient. Learning to love differently. We are better now. Not perfect. I see them occasionally. I keep my boundaries. I don't beg for inclusion. And they've learned something too. That a mother's love is deep, but it is not indestructible. It needs care. The moral. At 59 years old, I learned a lesson I wish I'd learned sooner. Love does not mean losing yourself. Being a parent does not mean being disposable. And family bonds must be nurtured from both sides. Children grow up. They build lives. But forgetting where you came from doesn't make you stronger, it makes you smaller. And respect, once broken, must be rebuilt with intention, not excuses. Final words. If you are a parent reading this, do not shrink yourself to stay included. Do not silence your pain to keep peace. And never accept being treated like an afterthought in a life you helped create. And if you are a child, remember someone once built their entire world around you. Don't erase them when your new one begins.